Hey guys, welcome to another episode of The Burning Page. And today I want to talk to you guys about a book. It's a new book, something that just dropped. It's the new hotness. I think it's going to be big. Maybe you guys have heard it. This author, J.K. Rowling, I think she's got a future after reading this book. And of course, the book I want to talk about is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. So, without further ado, let's jump into this rising new author. Alright guys, I'm going to take a moment now to talk about the fact that it's going to be a little bit odd to talk about Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, simply because I'm behind the times on this, and I don't know that it's entirely possible to review this book on its own merits. And what I mean by that is Harry Potter is such a huge cultural phenomenon at this point that talking about it all of these years later, it's impossible to judge just this book on its own merits, because we do know everything that's, came from this book. It would be like if someone had never watched a Star Wars movie and they suddenly watch A New Hope and they want to come at it with, this fresh take. It's impossible to judge something like that when you know all the cultural bric-a-brac that comes with that. First of all, I have saw most of the Harry Potter movies. Now this is a little odd because I've never watched the Deathly Hallows Parts 1 and 2. So even though I do know a lot of the Harry Potter mythos and story, I do not know how it ends. And I think I'm going to keep it that way because I think I'm going to try to read through this series of books before I watch the Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2. That being said, let's jump into the Sorcerer's Stone. This book is, it was of course I guess you would say a middle grade book, although I guess it could fall into the young adult or the YA as well. But it's written about, I feel like this is going to sound silly of me trying to even tell you, the basic premise of Harry Potter. We know the basic premise, but just so you know, this young child, he's 10 years old, or 9 or 10, Harry Potter. He's definitely a chosen one, I suppose you would say, because he was born of two parents who were wizards before him of great power, and his parents were murdered by the one who cannot be named, Voldemort. He's got this scar on his head because of that, and he is taken from this situation and they take him to his only living relatives, who are these horrible family that they don't raise Harry well. They don't treat Harry well. They don't like the fact, they know that his family were wizards. They don't like that lifestyle. They're very normal people, muggles as they're called. They are the most muggle of muggles. Anyway, Harry, you see that he's been raised not treated well. So when he finally gets the call to go to Hogwarts, he's of age to go to Hogwarts, and the letters start coming. They try to keep him from him because the family does not want Harry involved in this world. They don't want to deal with it. But fate is inevitable, and he does finally get, he meets up with Hagrid. Hagrid takes him. Long story short, Harry gets to go to Diagon Alley, which is this whole world that opens up to him because he sees that there's this whole world of wizardry and magic that he didn't even know existed, that he's a huge part of, and he's actually like a celebrity within that world. From there, we actually get to see Harry getting his magical materials for the school year. Then he gets to Hogwarts, and he meets friends. Of course, we are introduced to his two most well-known friends, Hermione and Ron. But there's a whole other cast of characters we meet. Harry gets sorted. He gets put into the Gryffindor house. There's 4 different houses in this school. Then there's the Slytherin house, which is, I guess they're supposed to be kind of like the bad house. And you get Draco Malfoy, who's horrible, by the way. And he's just a little insufferable bully. And we are introduced to all the professors at the school. We are introduced to Dumbledore, Albus Dumbledore, who is the headmaster of the school, all these wonderful characters that we meet, and within the houses even. And I think that's the thing that I took away from this, because like I said, I've watched the first movie probably 5 times at least in my life, so I know this story. So, you know, a lot of times I don't particularly love to read a book after that I've watched the movie, just because it's hard for me to kind of keep focused on something that I already know the story of. That's not the case with this, because J.K. Rowling's writing is so engaging and so well done that I jumped into this book and I couldn't put it down, to be honest. I was really enjoying every page of it. And I think a lot of the characters that I knew from the movies, I definitely got deeper connections to through this book. And in particular, like Hagrid. I always have loved Hagrid in the movies, but I liked Hagrid even more in this. A character that, and I don't know, like I said, haven't watched the Deathly Hallows, so I don't know how this all ends. But a character that in the movies I've always been attracted to, as far as thinking that there's more going on there, would be Severus Snape. And we definitely see that in this book as well. He is kind of painted the whole book as the villain. There is a twist at the end. And I think that you definitely see that there's a lot more going on with Snape than what meets the eye. Another character that he's just small cameo parts in this book, but I really found myself liking the character of Neville Longbottom. The underdog, more or less. So that's really cool. But overall, I've got to say, for a first time read, I know this book was originally published in, I want to say, 1997. And here it is, 2019, and I'm reading it for the first time. And it doesn't feel dated at all. In fact, the storytelling is timeless, and I could definitely see why this book spawned the huge franchise that it has spawned. I can't wait to delve further into these books, and I've got to say, overall, this book is a must-read. You know, if you're a fantasy fan, this is one of the great modern fantasies, and it comes at it from a different take, because, you know, usually I think a lot of times when you think fantasy, you think swords and, you know, magic and all that, and you do get all this, but you get it in a different setting, and you get it with these young kids who are learning their part in this world of magic. And it's just, I'm really impressed with how J.K. Rowling is able to begin opening that world, and I can't wait to see the world building as we go through this series. And I don't know, like I said, it's silly that it took me this long to read this book. I've owned it for years, and I finally bit the bullet. That was one of my, you know, kind of things I wanted to do this year in my reading. Was I was like, I work at a bookstore, I sell Harry Potter books every day, I've watched these movies, I've never read the books. It's time for me to read a Harry Potter book. That was the joke on myself, because I thought I'll just read one and I can say I've read a Harry Potter book. Nope. Now I've got to read them all. Definitely involved in this now, and I can't wait to continue this journey, and I am looking forward to getting to the end and seeing how it all ends. Add Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone to your TBR and read that thing soon, because you're going to want to go on this journey, and do it with me, because I'll definitely be reviewing the other ones as I go. So that being said, I'm going to say Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone gets 2 big thumbs up from me, and it's a must read. Well, here's your first appearance of Rocket. Tell him hi, Rocket. Rocket, look. Maybe I should put him in every video. I don't know. And with that, I just want to thank all of you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And while you're here, go ahead and hit subscribe. Leave me a comment below and tell me how stupid I am for taking this long to read these books. But also, tell me who your favorite Harry Potter character is. And to make it fun, let's take someone besides Harry, Hermione, and Ron, because that's your 3 main characters. Tell me your favorite characters besides them. In the meantime, keep the coffee churning and the pages